Hey, Kiss Army! Welcome to Tales of a Kiss Geek. Hello. So I thought it would be a cool idea to talk about the '78 solo albums today. So I've seen a couple of channels talk about them. Most recently, I saw Kiss Army Things. They put up a video and said what they thought. If we could choose a studio album that Kiss compiled from songs that were on the '78 solo albums, what would we choose? Like, what would be their preferences. Now I know they didn't come up with that concept, but I just want to say shout out to Kiss Army Things. They gave me the idea. So Jeb and Xander, they're really cool guys. Go over to that channel and I'm sure you'll like it as much as I do. So, the '78 solo albums, it is their 45th anniversary. I should have known that before I started the stream. Hey Coey, Coey's here, what's up? Um, Again, Coey, this was spur of the moment. It seems like I don't really plan these things anymore, but yeah, no, hopefully I will start planning, better. And yeah, it just came up spur of the moment. I noticed that it was an anniversary, so I thought it would be cool to talk about them. So if you have your list of the favorite '78 solo albums, Coey, and anybody else that's watching, post them in the comments, post them in the live stream there, and I'd be interested in knowing what your thoughts are. My number, let's go like last to like least favorite to favorite. My least favorite is surprisingly Gene Simmons's. Simmons's. Gene Simmons's '78 solo album is my least favorite. Then at third I have Peter Criss. Then second is, wow, we're the same. Yeah, second is Ace and first is Paul. I'm literally the exact same as Coey. Yeah, Paul's I think is the strongest songwriting wise, performance wise. Second is Ace. Um, Second is Ace for the same reasons. Like it's strong. It's actually strong for Ace as well, and it's probably when he was at his peak. A lot of people tend to say it's like his strongest material, and it's his best. Like they agree that he was at his peak, but I think that Trouble Walking doesn't get enough mention. And in my opinion, it's maybe my favorite Ace album. I know that's a bit of a hot take, but yeah, I think Trouble Walking is my favorite Ace album. It's just a fun album. It sounds cool. You don't have to be serious and put out serious material. It can be fun sometimes. Coey said he bases it on which album has the most good songs. Yeah, I totally agree. You're there to listen to good songs. So I think Peters has a lot of great songs. Granted, like some are covers, or at least one of them are covers. That doesn't really bother me a lot. Like some people get fixated. That album has so many covers on it, and such an album has this many, and that has none. So I don't think it makes a difference. A good song is a good song, and obviously they covered certain songs because they were good songs. So yeah, so number one for me is Paul Stanley. Number two, Ace Frehley. Number three, Peter Criss. And number four is Gene Simmons. So I thought that I would compile a list of, imagine if Kiss had have put out a studio album in 1978. Yeah, Coey says Tossing and Turning is great. I like Tossing and Turning. And that's a cover, isn't it? So yeah, it's a great song. Now, I compiled my own list of if Kiss had have put out a studio album in 1978, what would I have on it? So it's compiled of solo songs from the four albums. I'd love to know what you guys think. So if you guys have any opinions on what your album would be, what the track listing would be, post it in the comments below. Or if you're watching live, you can post it over there. So let's see. Yeah, I think it's a cover from the '60s, Coey. Yeah, I think so. '50s or '60s, I'd say. I'd say probably '50s, maybe. Right. Number one on my solo album, like studio album from '78. I don't have a title on it, so let's just call it '78. All right. So Kiss '78. Number one, Love in Chains. So taken from Paul's album, I think that you need a Paul song to kick off the record. And by the way, there's some songs that I'm leaving out from some albums, and they might be my favorite on those albums, if that makes any sense. Like I'd love to have, right, spoiler alert, I'm gonna give away some things, but I'd love to have Hooked on Rock and Roll on this album, or I'd love to have, let me think, I'd love to have a lot of stuff from Gene's album, as crazy as that sounds. Man of a Thousand Faces, all those kind of See You Tonight, those kind of tamed down, slower, ballady kind of songs. But I'm trying to be realistic, as if they actually put out a studio album. I don't think Man of a Thousand Faces and or um See You Tonight. I think I just said See You in Your Dreams. I didn't mean to say that. I meant See You Tonight. I don't think Man of a Thousand Faces or See You Tonight would have ever wound up on a Kiss album sung by Gene. I don't think so. Like in the 70s. And at that time, like 78, I don't think the Demon would have been saying that. Because quite frankly, I don't think Paul would allow it. I think that's what it would come down to. So this is my realistic track listing, not my dream track listing, just being realistic, but picking favorites from that realistic thought, if that makes any sense. So Paul kicks it off with Love in Chains. And then second, we go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Burning Up with Fever from Gene's album. Third, we have Wouldn't You Like to Know Me? So back to Paul. I think it has a bit of a nice flow. 4, Ace Kicks You in the Balls with Speeding Back to My Baby. 5, It's Alright from Paul's solo album. And then we have 6. So this is going to be, yeah, so It's Alright is going to end the first side of the album. I think it's a nice little ender. And it does sound like it would end the side. So you flip the vinyl over and you have that cool little intro, that demonic intro, and Gene kicks it off with Radioactive. I think that would be a cool song to kick it off with. And then straight into Ace comes up with What's on Your Mind. I think that would be a cool one to put in there. So it is Ace's second song on the album. And then poor Peter has to have a song. So Peter's song is I Can't Stop the Rain. So it wouldn't be my go-to song from that album. Would it be one of my favorites? I'm not sure. I do love the song. I love Peter's album. If it's not obvious. I do love Peter's album, and I would love to put on Hooked on Rock and Roll, or That's the Kind of Sugar Papa Likes. But I think that at this time they would be trying to, chase the, Beth was popular, Hard Luck Woman's popular, give Peter another ballad or another slower kind of song. So I Can't Stop the Rain is what Peter gets from his solo album. And then 9 is Mr. Make Believe. That's the second last song from Gene's album. And I know that I'm being maybe a bit contradictive. I know I'm contradicting myself by saying I'm being realistic. But hey, at the end of the day, this is the 78 solo album. It's the 78 studio album that never happened. Anyway, so it's totally unrealistic. No, that's not my cop-out. Honestly, I was trying to pick demonic songs from Gene's album, and really Radioactive is kind of it. Man of a Thousand Faces is maybe as close as you get to that. But I thought Mr. Make Believe is a nice little song, and it would almost work on Love Gun. I could hear that song on Love Gun, as crazy as that might sound to some people. So second last song is Mr. Make Believe. And then Paul ends the record with Goodbye. Fitting, as it's a fitting title, obviously, to end the album. But not only that, I think it's a good closing song. Like, change the lyrics and all of that, and change, the title. And I don't think it would quite even work in the middle of his solo album. I think it needs to end an album. It's that kind of nice closer. So let's see, how many did each of the guys get? Paul had 4 songs on the album. So I'm trying to do realistic kind of numbers. So Paul had 4 songs. Gene had 2 songs, which I think was happening because Gene was kind of declining songwriting wise. Like, you hear his stuff on Dynasty, in my opinion, it doesn't hold, it's not at all what he was doing before. So Ace got 2 songs, and then Peter got 1 song. And that is my studio album that Kiss would have put out in 1978 if I was behind the mixing desk. So Love in Chains, Burning Up with Fever, Wouldn't You Like to Know Me, Speeding Back to My Baby, It's All Right, Radioactive, What's on Your Mind, I Can't Stop the Rain, Mr. Make Believe, and Goodbye. There's my studio album. Let's see the comments. Yeah, so Coey, you said that Radioactive is your favorite song from Gene's solo album. There are some great Burning Up with Fever demos from Rock and Roll Over demos. If Kiss made a studio album in '78, would Peter or Anton Fig play drums on it? I would like to think it's the original lineup. However, I don't think the original lineup would be there. I think it would be Anton. Have Eddie Kramer behind the mix, and like he mixes it, and maybe give Paul a co-mix or whatever. And yeah, I think that would be really, really cool. So this was a spur of the moment little live stream. I just wanted to talk about the solo albums. I'm going to have more live streams in the future that I can delve into more topics and maybe not get quite close to 2.5 hours, but we'll get a lengthy live stream in and we can enjoy it all then. So I just literally wanted to touch on this topic and give you my opinion before it's no longer the 45th anniversary. Or is it even the 45th? 88, 98, 2008, 2018. Yeah, 45th. Yeah, Coey, you like the 2.5 hour live stream. And I kept saying every half an hour, okay, just a half an hour left. Okay, just a half an hour left. And I went on for ages. But yeah, short and sweet is the way we're going to do it tonight. So you can expect more videos coming on the channel. And you can expect more live streams because obviously you know that I love doing them so much. I'll take out an album, I'll take out my guitar, and I'll play along to the album. Or we can come up with topics, top tens, things like this where you do a fantasy kind of what if. It's just all a bit of fun, So guys, I want to say thank you very much for watching Tales of a Kiss Geek. I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Obviously, if you like what you see, please click like. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Hope to see you guys all in the next one, and you have a great day.